Another day, another video. I hope everyone is nice and feels well. So last time we covered Mirrored Mire. So this time we take a look at Acadia. Acadia is a map designed and created by Stevie Nader. You can just find it by putting that name in. There's nothing to worry about with this. I think there are Acadia versions where people played with it, but in general, you can find the normal version by just putting the name in. All right, let's take a look at the layout. So first of all, there's like this base up here, which is super annoying to deal with for the player one, because you have to, like, you cannot place your buildings there. I mean, you theoretically you could, but there's like you see right now with the mouse, like you either are on the friends and messages button, or yeah, you cannot scroll up, right? So the maximum to place your house is this, right? You have to put your mouse here, but you have to really control yourself to make that possible. And then the house fits here. So you see there's a lot of space here you can use. Um, and yeah, that's a bit unfortunate and a little inconvenience about the map I don't like. But other than that, the layout is pretty straightforward. You have a natural here. Makes no sense to take another lateral because this one is very much exposed. There's a lot of open space here. However, it's a great third, I think. Some people go for this one, which is easier to hold because you have like this little entryway. But then again, like you have to ferry your army over from your natural to your third to defend that, and that's easier to ferry to get your army from here to this third. Although this one is more exposed, has two run-by spots, very large ones actually. And yeah, like this one is a great fourth, much like this one, pretty much in the corner. And then like those bases are pretty much where you are going to expand. So there's like, of course you can expand with ninja bases, but in general, like your usual path of expanding is this as a natural, then this as a third, and this as a fourth. I take this one as a fifth usually, sometimes this one, depending on the map situation, of course. Yeah. The SimCity here, what I like to do if I'm not playing Beast, because it is, let's be honest, like Acadia is a pretty much a Beast map. You have a lot of open space, especially in the middle, but pretty much all the bases are having like all the dream space you want to maneuver around with your Beast army. There's nothing to block your way. This is a nice spot to block, but yeah, with the Beast army you just run around, right? So there's a lot of spaces for Beast army to maneuver around. So I like to play Beast here. So yeah, so with the SimCity, I think what's important to understand is how the situation works on the natural. That's like, especially in Beast versus Beast, like the mirror, usually you put all your buildings in the main, right? Because that's more optimal. You get more income, yada yada yada. So what I like to do here in general, after having my castle being built, right? I put it a bit diagonal. It's not gonna cost you too much gold. I think it's 25 gold or something. And you put like your two dens, you put them here. And I like to make this a bit more narrow, right? So instead of what I just did, right, which would be like the first time you start Ravaged, I like to put the dens here or here even, right? So you can block it with one worker or with one wolf. So usually I do this and put the next two dens here, and then you have like this setup, and they have to enter down here, which is great. You can, however, I think I've seen, I don't know who it was, Squarewood or so, doing this kind of thing, where the second den is down here, placed very early, right, from a 2 den, and then he just added the house this way. But make sure to block this way, right? You want to put something here, either here or here, to make sure that nothing runs around your worker line. So you want to have everything pass through the workers. And on this base, you pretty much put a castle here to just be able to put a defensive tower here in Beast versus Beast. You kind of need that. And then once the army approaches, you just take all the workers around the tower and then hold position, and that's it. Usually enough. Sometimes it doesn't, so you add a second tower. You can do that here. And again, make sure that you have like something here so the wolves cannot go around. You can play raiders if you do that. Your opponent needs to understand that this place is a spot where raiders can jump out, and this one. So putting one house at some point here makes sense. Other than that, I think airs played a lot on this map because they are like you cannot really follow the air, right? So if the dragons fly in here, especially this big part, so they have a very easy access going in and out of your base, and you always have to run around, right? So this is something to keep in mind when you play this map and you play Beast. Sometimes it progresses in wolf snake ish, and then at some point you have the catapults, and then you will most likely encounter air in form of dragons usually. So on this map, oftentimes you see dragons being played, and there's not a great way to deal with them on the map. You have to get the ballista and stuff. There's no way you do that with archers on this map. It's just suicide. You can put like 2 or 3 towers everywhere, but that's just costly and static defense. And at some point, there are too many dragons to be able to deal with that. And then you are left with a counter attack, and that usually doesn't end well for you because there's beast units on this spot, so you kind of run into a surround in the middle, and then it's GG. So yeah, on this map, pretty much play beast into dragons. That's just what everyone does, and it's just very, very good on this map. Um, yeah, everything else is kind of asking for trouble and putting you behind. There are great proxy spots. You can put something here. It takes a bit longer to run around, right? But usually people proxy here, up here. But be aware of that because everyone is, and they most likely scout this area. So yeah, I think that's I think that's all the spots covered. There is like this area where you can fly to safety with your dragons. So when you play dragons and you have like low ones and you have like good pullback micro and they survive, just park them here above these trees because ballista cannot attack there. And you just let them sit there and regenerate slowly, and then you can bring them back to fight. I think I like to use this spot a lot when I fight versus player 1, and I use this place when I fight versus player 2 because the time the dragons take to fly in again is shorter, but it depends where they expanded, right? If there's no base here, but here it obviously makes more sense to have the dragons here. All right, so I think that's all for the moment for Acadia. A great map in general, a bit much green, but other than that, Stevie Nader did a really good job. All right, then have a good day, everyone, and enjoy yourselves. Until next time, bye bye.